I'm Scott Douglas. Welcome to Kentuckiana's most exciting half hour right here on Louisville Motor Speedway's Let's Go Racing on Channel 15. Coming up over the next half hour, all the exciting highlights from last weekend's racing out at Louisville Speedway. And believe me, as we head toward the crowning of the new season champions at the nation's finest short track, the action is at a fever pitch. You're going to see the highlights here in just a moment. Coming up, a big Labor Day weekend, 3 days of action. Hope you're planning on joining us. Friday night, U.S. Army night, 3 divisions racing, plus we'll have some special Army demonstrations, including a military tank crushing a car out here. We'll see all that on Friday. Then Saturday, WAMZ's 97 cent night. It's also Winston night. On Saturday, you see 4 divisions in race action, plus you'll be able to get in the front gate. All general admission tickets are just 97 cents, plus a can of food for Kentucky Harvest. That's this Saturday, September 5th. And then Sunday, September 6th, is the one many fans have waited all year for. It's the return of the Miller Genuine Draft, U.S. Open Demolition Derby, and Moonlight Madness. That's all Sunday. Plan on being here Friday at 7, Saturday at 7, Sunday at 7 here at Louisville Speedway. Well, now let's look back to some great racing from a week ago with the highlights. Here's Frank Scott.
Well, thank you very much, Scott Douglas. Frank Scott here along with Alan Williams Jr. And no, he's not my new co-color commentator here at Louisville Motor Speedway. He's simply on top of the Dial 1 Oval Bomber standings for the 1992 racing season. But Alan, before we take a look at Saturday night's racing action, where you're trying to hold on to that slim point margin over Tony Hevern, we're going to look back to Friday evening when the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shocks Figure 8 division went into action, along with the Winston Martin Landscaping Sportsman, and a place where you started out not too long ago, the Ken Tyree Auto Care Center, General Tire Rookie Bombers. Rookie Bomber racing is really the place to get started, right, Alan?
That's right. It's really beginning class we have here.
It wasn't too long ago you started out in that class and worked your way up into the Dial 1 Oval Bomber division, began racing on Saturday evenings. I know it's just a few weeks left in the 1992 racing season, but you can get your rules at the Speedway office come springtime and get started on your Rookie Bomber. Friday night racing action we're about to take a look at. Danny Blackwell is on the verge of winning his 3rd championship in the Figure 8 division. However, there's other drivers within a mathematical shot of taking the point lead away and ultimately the championship. In the Winston Martin Landscaping Sportsman division, Rick Irwin is on top of the point standings, but Chuck Winders is coming on strong as we head down the final weeks. Let's take a look back at last Friday evening and see who came out on top. Feature event time for the Winston Martin Landscaping Sportsman division, and the fastest qualifier that evening, the current Rookie of the Year contender, Rick Harris in car number 3. He's pressured in the opening laps by car number 53, Joe Williamson Jr., as Harris drew a number 1 starting position in that evening's 30-lap main event. Reed Boone runs at 3rd, Marshall Jaggers up to 4th, and rounding out that top 5, it's the number 38 of Scott Toohey. Just a few laps later, and the crankshaft seized up in car number 91, Marshall Jaggers' machine. Toohey escapes without too much contact, but Scott Walters couldn't avoid the number 91 as it brings out the caution flag. When the green flag appeared after the restart, it's Rick Harris in car number 3 is Jardine Mechanical Delta Electric, Pipe Fitters Local 522, Coop Construction Company, and Harpring Sheet Metal Racing Chevrolet out front. But around the outside comes the number 53. Moving into turns 1 and 2, Joe Williamson Jr. again with Reed Boone at 3rd place and Scott Toohey at 4th. It's Williamson Jr. who takes over the lead, moving down into turns 3 and 4. With Joe Williamson Jr. in command of the event, the number 99 of George Koch. Car sponsored by Collins Chevy Geo, as well as Wave 3 Mid-America Auto Auction. Racing into turns 1 and 2. Carlsel sponsored by Radio Station 2, RKA 103. He moves into the 3rd place position, but it's Joe Williamson Jr. who's out front as they come out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Rick Irwin, driving the number 90 Banquet Table Buffet Racing Camaro, moves into the 4th place position after getting around Chuck Winders, and he remains on top of the point standings this week, but collecting his first feature win of the 1992 racing season. The number 53 of Joe Williamson Jr., his car sponsored by Tumbleweed Tex-Mex Restaurant, as well as Kroger's Automotive, Able Auto Parts, and Pipe Fitters Local 522. Joe Williamson Jr. collecting his first feature event victory of the 1992 racing season. Taking a look now at the racing action from the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shockup's over figure 8 division, the 24-car field and the 25-lap feature. Moving through the intersection, the green flag comes out, and it's Art Grohl in car number 9 in a green and black race car who goes out front to claim the early lead. It's Roy Smith in car number 49 who moves into second. Charlie Hartz goes third, driving Dan Moody. Now moving up into the number 4 position as they race into turns 3 and 4. Going all the way to the outside, moving out of turn number 4 as they come around to complete the first lap. We have the number 07 now of Dave Staten as they race back into turns 1 and 2. Early in the race, Jim Berry brought the number 51 to the inside of the number 07, the Price Auto Painting Racing Chevrolet, driven by Dave Staten to take over the 5th place position. As we see some of the most successful cars in the point series near the tail of the lineup, they begin scrambling for position and moving up through the field. Approaching the halfway point of the event, it's Art Grohl, the race leader, with Roy Smith running at second. Now Jim Berry in the 51, really moving through the field, gets around Charlie Hartz to take over the number 3 spot with Charlie Hartz at 4th. Later, the top 3 cars move out of the second turn, and now Jim Berry, who's positioned on the outside of Roy Smith, moves into the number 2 position and keeps the pressure on race leader Art Grohl as they race out of the 4th turn and back through the intersection. And once again, Berry's strongest line seemed to be on the inside coming out of turn number 2. And this is where he makes the pass and takes the lead from Art Grohl. And the number 51 of Jim Berry is the new race leader, leaving Grohl to battle with Roy Smith for second. After taking the lead, out front is where Berry stayed, driving the Southwest Body Shop, Gupton's Tool Service, and Joe Schumann Paint Company Racing Chevrolet to record his second feature event of the 1992 racing season. Art Grohl wound up at second, and Bobby Johnson, who's been awesome as of late, wound up at 3rd place. Jeff Roberts at 4th. Roy Smith rounded out the top 5. Dennis Knoll won the B feature over Buck Pardue and Kenny French. And in the 20-lap main events for the Kentari General Tire Rookie Bombers, the number 044 shown here, Joe Martin, takes the lead away and goes on to collect the victory. And look at this racing action right behind him. And you don't think things don't get wild out there on Friday nights? The Button Company sponsored Chevrolet again of Joe Martin collects the victory. Steve Clevis finishes up at second, and Jesse Key wound up at 3rd. In the second feature event, it was Mike Alphin driving a Ford Thunderbird to victory over Wayne Gutterman and Ron Hartledge. So congratulations to Friday night's race winners. Jim Berry collecting his second feature win of the 1992 racing season. And of course, Joe Williamson Jr. coming away with his first feature of the 1992 racing season. Congratulations also going out to those rookie bomber drivers. And they may be graduating up to someday challenge the Screaming Yellow Zonker here of Alan Williams Jr.'s in the Dial 1 Oval Bomber Division. Well, one driver that is on top the point standings in a Saturday night racing division is a brand new division here at Louisville Motor Speedway. It's the Banquet Table Buffet Rookie Figure 8s. And on top the standings as we head into the final weeks, Jack Mann. He has a point margin over Greg Witt. And of course, our own Scott Douglas is standing by with the man on top, Jack Mann. So here's Douglas and Mann. Take it away, Scott.
No, you're not looking at something in the junkyard. You're looking at what it takes to get to the top in the brand new Banquet Table Buffet Rookie A Figure 8 division at Louisville Speedway. And this guy is getting very close to locking up the championship in the first year of our Rookie Figure 8 class, and that's Jack Mann. And Jack, first of all, this is a good example that in the Rookie Figure 8 division, it certainly is one you're going to take some lumps. But you've been able to stay on top. Tell me a little bit about, first off, why you decided, because you've had some a little bit of figure 8 experience, but you clearly met the rookie guidelines. Why did you decide to run this rookie class?
Well, I decided to run it because it was a lesser schedule, and it'd be better, you know, for myself. You know, I have a better chance of winning because on Friday night, you know, the guys are so tough and so experienced, and I needed more experience, and I think it's helped a lot, you know.
You know, when Banquet Table came on board with this rookie figure 8 division, I think the whole point was to get a chance for, and you're a perfect example, but the other guys up there, the Greg Witts and the Stacy Kellys, guys who up to now had to run in the C feature on Friday. Now you guys can come up, you can get in front of the fans, and you can get some limelight yourself all the time, getting to be better figure 8 racers.
Right. Like I say, it's just a lot better coming from back and learning how to drive the traffic here. And because Friday night you just can't come from the back, no matter what, it's just hard to do. And
you talk about the talent on Friday. There's no question it's the best around, but watching this Saturday division, there's some awful good guys you're running with out there too. Right.
I'd say 5, 6 good drivers out there that can run, be competitive on Friday night, but actually winning would be the hard part. Like Saturday night we ran against a bunch of 22 cars, and I fared pretty good against them. I had a lot of luck on my way, so that shows I have improved.
Always got to have a little bit of that when you're talking about going through that X, no doubt about it. Now, you look at it, and it's going to be a neat situation for you because barring anything unforeseen, you're going to walk out of here with a Louisville Speedway Championships. Now, I would think that's going to be real special to you and your race team.
If I win, I'd be real happy with it. Any championship is great to win. It's hard to win one, no matter what division.
What about this team? Tell us who's helped you out, who's been with you all year long, and who's helped you get to the front.
Well, Zeke Skaggs helps me a lot, and Tony Conway. My brother helps a whole lot, Lee, and his friend Terry, and David with them. They all just pitch in and help and give me anything I need and help me anytime I need help, so that makes a big difference.
How about battling these guys here? We talk about sometimes the figure 8 guys, and every now and then everybody roughs each other up a little bit, but it's looked like you guys have all kind of taken to the fact that, hey, there's a lot of new drivers in this, and it's taken a while to adjust. Sometimes we're used to seeing guys really zoom through the X. The rookie might get on the brake a little bit. It's a little different feeling, isn't it? Yeah,
because you're not for sure what everybody's going to do. Friday night everybody's going to come through, but here you got to be a lot more patient because they're learning yet, and it's hard for them to make it through the curves without messing up. So you got to be patient, take your time, get around them, not get any tires cut or anything like that.
Is this for you kind of like the ultimate rush running that figure 8? You just do it because you love it?
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling, especially when you do good. It makes you feel really good.
Well, hopefully, at least if things keep going well for him, he's going to be able to walk across that stage in January as a track champion in the Banquet Table Buffet Rookie Figure 8 division. We'll see how he does here tonight at Louisville Speedway. Jack Mann in Rookie Figure 8s.
So there you have it, Jack Mann on top of the point standings at Louisville Motor Speedway and the brand new Banquet Table Buffet Rookie Figure 8 division. Well, Alan Williams Jr., as we head down the final couple of 2 or 3 weeks now at Louisville Motor Speedway, you and Tony Hevern seem to be the guys on top. Dave Parsons is right there at 3rd. And of course, the guy's really been coming on strong these past few weeks, Dean Donahoe. How do you see your chances at winning the championship?
Well, I'm trying to keep the points out of my mind and just go out and run to the front and try to pick up a couple wins, if not top 5 finishes, and just those points are so crucial right now. It's so close. We're just trying to do the best we can.
It really is. With only 6 points difference between you and Tony Hevern, it would almost make you or break you as to where you finish in any race out here.
That's right, and the cars are so close now that it's just, who gets the brakes and who goes to the front first, and hopefully that'll be us.
Very quickly, Dave Parsons, he's been pretty strong in that early model Impala.
Yes, he has. He's coming on lately.
And Dean Donahoe with such a large Impala, 122 inch wheelbase. How do you think, what is the magic that Donahoe team is working?
I don't know. I wish that little magic would come our way here in the last couple of races, though.
Well, you have a few more laps to race with him, and perhaps it'll roll your way. Only way to find out is to be here at Louisville Motor Speedway. Let's look back at Saturday night's racing action in all 4 great racing divisions. What a way to enjoy the races at Louisville Motor Speedway from the front seat of a Corvette. Actually, it'd have to be the front seat because they don't have a back seat. 2-seater machines, America's sports car, and the River City Corvette Club joined us last Saturday evening at Louisville Motor Speedway, and they parked their cars on the back straightaway. Later, they paraded them around the racetrack. Reviewing the racing action from the 40-lap Winston Busch late model feature, Keith Gardner on the inside of the front row and Scotty Walters race off into turns 1 and 2 with the number 39 of Ron Phillips, the 05 of Larry Metters, and that evening's fastest qualifier, the number 31, the Denny Racing Engines Chevrolet Beretta. Moving out of turn number 4 and down the front straightaway of Wayne Edwards. Wayne drew a number 5 starting position, and that's where he started. As they race down the back straightaway, though, he's already improved up to 4th place as they move into the 3rd and 4th turn. Keith Gardner, though, your race leader, defending late model track champion. Unfortunately for Edwards, though, he didn't remain up front for very long as he and Steve Webb made contact down in turns 3 and 4, and the machines spin around, but they get back in the lineup without bringing out the caution flag. But however, both machines go 1 lap down. A few laps later, with Keith Gardner the race leader, the battle at second place heats up between the car on the outside, Scott Walters, the 39 of Ron Phillips, and the number 05 of Larry Metters. Metters just sees the hole open in front of him, and he takes advantage of it to pull to the outside of Ron Phillips. Into turns 1 and 2, they're side by side as they move down the back straightaway, but Metters puts the awesome power of the Hoosier Parts Warehouse racing engine to the track. Your race leader is the number 98, the Marley Ford Bojangles and KC Food Marts 1992 Ford Thunderbird of Keith Gardner. The race was caution flagged when the number 12 of Preston Ford began leaking oil on the track. The restart of the race had Gardner as the race leader, but Metters jets around the outside, takes the lead on the back straightaway. Watch closely, though. Moving into turns 3 and 4, Metters glides up the banking. Gardner takes the lead back away. As they run down the front straightaway, Scott Walters makes it nearly 3 abreast, but then racing back into turns 1 and 2, Metters gains his momentum back and takes over the number 1 spot. And in the lead is where Larry Metters stayed, driving the Ohio Valley Tire Company, Metal Center Recycling, and Outer Limits Amusement Center, and Rob's Touch of Class Racing Z28 Camaro. He goes on to collect his 10th, count 'em, 10 feature wins for 1992 at Louisville Motor Speedway. He's still at second in the point standings behind the driver that ultimately finished second, Keith Gardner. Scott Walters in the Roadrunner Video Club's Pontiac wound up at 3rd place, while Chuck Winders finished at 4th, and Ron Phillips rounded out the top 5. In Dial 1 Oval Bomber racing competition last Saturday evening, the 1991 Rookie of the Year in this division, Nick Reed Jr. in the number 21, the Emmett's Furniture, Massey Bookkeeping, and Bluebird Pies Racing Chevrolet moves around Carl Hamlet in the number 40 and goes on to collect his second feature event of the 1992 racing season. Carl Hamlet wound up at 2nd, while Mark Mattingly finished up at 3rd. In the second feature event, Edwards took the victory over Morris Wheatley and Byron Johns, and in the third feature event, newcomer Tommy Wheeler took the victory over Jeremy Lutz and Debbie Bartley. Kintari Auto Care Center General Tire Mini Stock Racing action, and the number 91 of Nicky Jaggers was the early race leader, but the number 16 of George Lawrence, driving the Acme Truck Parts All-State Auto Parts Racing Pinto, was able to catch up to her and take the lead away. He goes on to collect the feature event victory. The number 95, the Bodie Finn Racing Chevy Vega of Jim Kirk, wound up at 2nd, while Eric Williams brought the Exhaust Pro Pinto up to 3rd. The B feature was won by Joe Williamson Jr., who earlier that weekend won the Sportsman feature event. Joe Farrell for 2nd place, and it was Oliver Thompson in a Ford Mustang who wound up at 3rd. And in the exciting Banquet Table Buffet Rookie Figure 8 division, it was Doug Smith driving car number 6, the Outer Limits Amusement Center Video Shack Racing Chevrolet, taking the victory over Greg Witt driving the Old Hickory Pit Barbecue Racing Chevrolet and the Jefferson Special Police Racing Buick of Mike Mullins. So congratulations to all Saturday night winners here at Louisville Motor Speedway. Great performances turned in over this past weekend, but we can only have one Top Dog of the Week award winner. And for that, let's go to Scott Douglas.
Time now to select the top racing performance of last weekend at Louisville Speedway as we hand out the Top Dog of the Week award. Very close voting as several drivers merited consideration, but in the end, the award goes to Jim Berry, who for the second time in the last 3 weeks was able to wheel that number 51 home as the winner in the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe A feature division race for the figure 8 cars at Louisville Speedway. So congratulations to Jim Berry, who comes away as this week's Top Dog of the Week.
So congratulations to this week's Top Dog of the Week award winner here at Louisville Motor Speedway. Well, as you can see by the picture in our camera right now, this obviously wasn't a Top Dog of the Week award winner. In fact, it's the number 55, the Datsun
that's driven here at Louisville Motor Speedway by defending mini stock track champion Dale Thomas. Unfortunately for Thomas, when he was on the track practicing Saturday afternoon, the throttle cable stuck on the car and put the 7-time feature event winner into the outside retaining wall. This car was out of action for the rest of the night. Let's take a look back at other mishaps over this past weekend as we bring you the greatest hits of the week portion of the Louisville Motor Speedway Let's Go Racing program.
Crash action sequence now from the Winston Martin Landscaping Sportsman Division. In one of the heat races, moving down into turns 3 and 4, Chuck Barnes loses an axle, then spins around, is collected by Chuck Winders. Winders is then collected by David Mack. Fortunately, Mack wasn't a truck. Figure 8 racing action sometimes turns into monster truck racing action as we see Larry Holbert trying to crush the side of Buck Skaggs' race car. Skaggs, who owns a wrecker service, suddenly becomes one and tows Holbert's machine halfway around the track. Rookie bomber race action up in turn number 4, and we have the number 235 getting into the wall of Robert Schroeder, the number 10 of Kevin Barnes, and then a late hit there by the number 141 of Randy Greenfield. More action from the rookie bomber division, not here, but over here, and the number 16 gets gets hickory smoke down in the first and second turn area. Watch out there. Boy, that's a real hot foot there. The driver escaped uninjured. Also from the rookie bomber division, and the number 10 of Kevin Barnes spins out on the front straightaway, and that's not a very good place to park a race car because somebody might just come along and, yep, there you have it. The number 47 of George Roberts collided. Roberts sustained a minor knee injury in that accident. From the Dial 1 Oval Bomber Division, and Tony Thomas moves into turns 3 and 4, spins the car all by himself, but he's joined by the number 200 of Mark Mattingly head on. Also from the Oval Bomber Division, it's the number 111 of Tim Reisinger who gets turned around at the end of the back straightaway, and then the number 171 of Vernon Hayes tries to run over him. From the Pronto Auto Parts Monroe Shocks Figure 8 division, and in our infield we have a pin sticking up near the starting line to indicate to the drivers where the race will be started. However, after the race is started, it's no longer needed. It appears that 3 cars took liberty in knocking it down. And even the mini stock division has maxi crashes. Moving down into turns 3 and 4, Scott Caudell gets together with Rick Nolan and collects the number 61 of Bob Leander up against the outside retaining wall. Fortunately, no one was injured. More zaniness from the Dial 1 Oval Bomber division, and down in turns 1 and 2, and Dean Donahoe flat gets whipped up on by several automobiles, but not whipped up as bad as the number 82 of Doug Richardson. He sustained some customization to the front of his car, and it brings out the caution flag. It wasn't too good a night for some of the top point-producing Dial 1 Oval Bomber machines. There's the number 8 of Doug Miller, and he's collected by the number 85 of Alan Williams Jr., who sheds off the left front fender and the driver's side door. One of the wildest shows in town is Saturday nights at Louisville Motor Speedway. It's the Banquet Table Buffet Rookie Figure 8 division. Action is always at the intersection. We'll just let the video speak for itself. As you can see, things can get quite congested. Saturday night was cleaning night at Louisville Motor Speedway, and Harry Pertiller cleans out the finish line peg there on the finish line. Where else? More action from the Dial 1 Oval Bomber division, and moving down the front straightaway, it's Jerry Johnson and Mike Mulligan who have a disagreement going into the first turn, but the wall settles it. And while we're speaking of walls, Sam Fernelli in the number 77 finds out that it just doesn't move.
Well, as we get into September at Louisville Speedway, it is the last month of the season, but we don't go out with a whimper. We go out with a bang, and it starts this weekend, Labor Day weekend, 3 nights of action. Friday, all the great racing, plus on Army night, we'll have a tank out here crushing a car and lots of military displays.